Hey, I'm NichBoy and welcome to Pocket for Thursday, the 18th of February. Today on the show, COD, Mutant Butts, and Game Guides. Guides to Butts. Alright, here's what's been making headlines. Industry legend Warren Spector is returning to game development after a 3-year hiatus. Spector has joined Boston-based development studio Other Side Entertainment as their studio director, where he'll work on Underworld, Ascendant, and System Shock 3. The System Shock series is of course one of Spector's career-defining accomplishments, as he produced the influential game at Looking Glass Technologies in 1994. On working on the series again, Spector said to Games Industry International, "Working on System Shock was one of the most fulfilling things I've done in my career, and it's hard to describe how much I'm looking forward to sharing with players what Shodan has been up to since the last game was released." The Smite Oceania Pro League has been announced for 2016. Across the year, teams from Australia and New Zealand will compete in 3 major splits for a share in $100,000. It all starts with the Pro League qualifier commencing on the 27th of February. The Division has caught the virus, the timed exclusive DLC virus. Ubisoft made this announcement at E3 in 2014, but never revealed how long the exclusivity would stand. Well, according to American retailer GameStop, Ubisoft will release some of the Division's post-launch content exclusively on the Xbox One for a 30-day period. Once that 30 days has passed, the content will become available on PS4 and PC. It's not exactly clear what content will be caught up in the timed exclusivity deal Microsoft seemed to have acquired, but Ubisoft has announced plans for 3 major expansions and regular free monthly updates. Street Fighter V got off to a bumpy start on PC and PS4, with the last couple of days since launch being plagued by technical issues. Well, Capcom has released a statement today that things should be running a bit smoother now that the game has rolled out across the globe. They've also cleared up some of the problems with matchmaking, which were being caused by server errors, and are advising PC players who are experiencing crashes to check that the game is on their antivirus exception list. And finally, they noted that they're working on a patch for PC to clear up an issue in which people's fighter IDs are becoming corrupt. Whew. I'm joined now by my old roast buddy and part-time Good Game colleague, Seton K. Smith.
Hi.
Hey, to discuss our final news story. I haven't spoken to you in a while. You okay? You still eating?
I am eating.
Okay, good.
Often.
Yeah, good. Ooh, I can tell.
Thank you.
Call of Duty Black Ops 3 has received a limited-time multiplayer-only release exclusive to Steam. The $15 version of the game includes ranked matches, arena and free-run modes, as well as the theater and weapon paint shop. The game will only be available for purchase until the 29th of February. Seton K, do you think Activision are preparing to kill off the single player?
Oh, well, maybe. Like, it seems like it's definitely focusing on the multiplayer, but is that such a bad thing? Like, if you are really good with your multiplayer, maybe focus on that if people aren't really flocking to the single player.
I mean, it is a sort of conversation that's been going on for ages about whether or not the single player needs to exist now because the multiplayer is kind of where it shines. I personally like the single player because I'm terrible at the multiplayer.
Well, single player is the perfect time to, like, become better at the game.
You would think so, wouldn't
then
you?
when you go and do it with other people, you don't embarrass yourself.
You would think that is the case. However, I have played all of the Call of Duty single player campaigns, and I'm still terrible at it.
Well, maybe you need to play it through a second time.
Maybe I do. Maybe I need to take it off easy difficulty. I do think it's interesting though that it's $15. That seems really cheap. Like when you go the game, the single player and the multiplayer is $60. This is a quarter of the price, which is super cheap.
And how much would you say the multiplayer is in terms of, if you're talking fractions?
Yeah,
like
and we should.
The multiplayer is half of, or
I think it's way more than that.
Right.
I think
three quarters.
Yeah, let's go 98%.
98%, and it's a quarter of the price. I feel like we're selling it.
It's a hell of a deal, guys. Come on, 98% of the game, incredible.
Well, then that's perfect. Like if you think, as someone who's just admitted to playing the single player more than the multiplayer, if you think the single player is only 2% of the game, and
wait, I'm getting really ripped off.
But I feel like then why would you continue to make that 2%?
Yeah.
If like 98% of it is the multiplayer, like, wouldn't you just? Yeah, it seems great to focus on it.
I love that me saying it's 98%, you're just like, that's a fact now.
I trust you.
Like this is, I am someone who speaks on the internet, so therefore you need to trust my opinion.
You have a platform.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's very cheap. It's to me, this is the kind of price that I feel like if you're going to sell multiplayer games, that's the kind of price you should be selling it at.
Well, I mean, with multiplayer, you need like a lot of people to buy it. To
exactly.
Make it. So the more people, if you price it out of people's range, then it's going to be like less people are playing it, it'll be less fun for everybody.
Exactly, and here they could potentially put in microtransactions, and at this price point it would be acceptable. This is about the same price as CSGO, which currently is kind of like Call of Duty's biggest competitor. It used to be Halo, and now it's kind of like people going to CSGO, that's also $15 as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. It's weird that they're pulling it.
You don't have much time to get onto that.
It's the 29th, yeah.
That's like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's very strange that it does feel like it's a test.
Thank God it's a leap year.
I know. What would have happened then?
Well, you would have lost a whole day of gameplay.
Ridiculous. And then a whole day of 98% of a game.
Oh, man.
I can't even do those fractions. All right, moving on now. It's Thing of the Day. Thing of the Day. Jess Zargo was playing Fallout 4 and took out an unsuspecting mutant hound with pinpoint accuracy. The poor pup responded appropriately. Seaton, if I shot you, is that how you'd react?
I would jump so high.
Yeah?
If you shot me in the bum. If you shot me in the shoulder.
Yeah. You kind of just fall over.
Well, like, in terms of physics, I wouldn't go high.
Yeah, you're right, because if I shot you in the anus, physics would shoot you 30 feet into the air.
That's how it works.
Science. All right, it's talk through time where you suggest a topic. We talk through it. Today's topic comes in from Robert Monteresso, who says, do you think that online guides and walkthroughs are helping or hindering games these days? Think back to the days of PS1 games with lots of little secrets and having the joy of discovering those for yourself. Now people can easily go on Reddit and find people talking about secrets and alternate endings. Are these guides and forums ruining developers' efforts to hide secrets, or could you argue that games wouldn't be what they are today without them? You're going to jump the gun there. Seaton, talk. Do you play games with guides?
I don't personally use guides, and they are easy to come across, but you don't need to, like, you don't have to. It's not like
some self-control is what we're talking about. Don't eat McDonald's every day. Don't use guides for games.
These are all good things.
Unless you're Barjo.
He eats McDonald's every day, does he?
No, he uses guides for the witness and admitted it on television.
Well, I think the thing with the guides is, like, yeah, they are like, they take a lot of the secrets out of it, but then if you are playing a game that you're really loving and then you get stuck at a point and you're playing it and you're trying to get it, you can't get your head around it, then the guide is the difference between you giving up completely or like getting past the one thing you can't do and then enjoying the rest of the game.
Absolutely.
So I think there's a value to it.
They're like a key to like unlocking a door.
Yeah, like a little key.
Yeah.
Like
a little paper key over 30 pages.
Yeah, it's a big key.
It's a big
30-page key.
That is actually a big key, but a small guide.
Yeah. But I think, because in terms of like ruining games and secrets, I was reading about the guy that did the Bunny Vizak, and
Edmund
everyone was just like mining the code to find the secrets.
Yep.
And it's like, that's much worse than a guide. It's like the finding of the secret, like the actual achievement of finding the secret is more important than actually finding the secret.
Yeah, like at the point where you're a data miner,
you're not playing the game.
Yeah, you're not playing the game at all. But also, that's the joy of the game for you. Like, if you're doing that, that's actually where you're finding your fun. Which
is fine. Like, if that's like. Yeah. But I bought the guide to the secret of Evermore, and it's got like all the information about the characters, the monsters, the spells, and it's like you don't use that to traverse through the game. You use it to enrich the experience. You're like, you know what I mean? You're looking through. It's like, that's the little shell guy that I just killed for the experience points. You know, like he's got a story. He's got a family.
Yeah. It's basically a book of horrors. Like his memories of everyone that I've murdered.
It's a book of guilt.
Yeah. The Primer guides are still around though, and they're still going strong. They sell the physical ones, but they also sell online PDF sort of versions of those as well. And they've already got guides out for games like Far Cry Primal, which are yet to even be released. So people are still making these things. But with the popularity of guides, one thing I think it is doing is it's forcing some developers to be more creative and try harder to hide secrets in the game. I mean, The Witness is a good example, but you think of something like Trials HD, it had an actual puzzle in it where it was so difficult to find, you needed to fall off a map at a certain point and uncover a little bit in the game. You decipher messages and that takes you to websites, you need to use Morse code, and then suddenly people, are you sitting down? Because you're gonna be shocked. You have to go to multiple spots across the world where in the real world, Seaton.
In the real world.
In Sydney, where we are right now, there was a box hidden in a wall near the Harbour Bridge. In that box was a key There's 4 of those around the world, and then one of those keys will unlock something at the base of the Eiffel Tower in 2113.
But like that, if you are the person who is enjoying this puzzle, you're gonna die unsatisfied because you're not gonna stay alive for that. That's like almost 100 years away.
I know, that's like your grandkids are gonna enjoy this.
I hope so.
But to bring it back to the point, if you want to use a guide, they're available, and I think there's no problem using them if that's how you want to play. If you don't want to use a guide, you can easily avoid them.
You don't have to use it.
No one is forcing you to use a guide.
Forcing you. That'd be rude.
That would be really rude and weird.
It'd be super weird.
Use a guide.
No,
I'll shoot you in the butt.
Don't shoot me in the butt.
All right, that's it for today's episode of My Pocketeers. Let me know in the comments if you use a guide. Is that something that you do to finish games, or do you think it's abhorrent? And while you're there in the comments, please suggest a talk-through topic for tomorrow. And stay on the internet and check out Good Game on Facebook, YouTube, and iView. Want to meet fellow Pocketeers? Then join the Pocketeers Facebook group and Steam group. You can follow Good Game on Twitter at GoodGameTV. Follow Pocket at NichBoy, at Pierreth, at GGEditMonkey. He's at Seatonks, and there are links to everything I just said in the description below. Today's Thing of the Day graphic was made by Usual Mike. Thank you, Mike. If you've made a thing, please send it in. Until tomorrow, NichBoy out.
Seaton out.
Why'd you laugh?
I couldn't remember I was going to say Seatonks out because you said your like tag.
Yeah, right.
So like halfway through saying my name, I'm like, oh, which one am I saying? Am I saying my tag?
Yep.
Or my name?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Hey man, at least I'm having fun.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too.